So, rainbow brain. What are you talking about? Before I was born, I had a form. And that form came with some caveats. Certain parts of the way that I think are flipped in reverse and over. Basically, none of your symbols mean anything to me. When I learned the language we call English, I already knew the language of faces. But when they put letters in front of me, I knew what the word was, and sometimes I would flip. Everybody who's raised a kid who knows that they will flip their letters. I did a very unique pattern of that. I flipped a single letter in my name, or one upside down, or two. Of course, that's stopped within age appropriate boundaries. But what that taught me was that I don't quite see things the same way as other people. When I say rainbow brain, some people may think special needs people. Mm-hmm. So I have a lot of lovely folks around me. My husband is diagnosed ADHD, and my son is diagnosed ADHD and autistic. Both of my parents had traits. They had similarities to both my husband and my son. Uh, but of course, they are both with the Lord now, and it is completely irrelevant whether or not those labels ever would have applied to them at all. And that's more than okay, because what I'm going to tell you now is that it's really not about the labels. We talk a lot in the yellow corner about, what qualifies as a diagnosis for certain things. But what it really boils down to is, do you have certain characteristics and enough of them for other people to see that you were born different enough to get this difference. Now this is a couple of human genomes. Supposedly we've mapped it, I don't know. But along the way, there's groups of information, and along the way, those groups of information change. When we are growing older, when we are having experiences, and yes, when we are sinning, when we are poisoning ourselves, you can end up with a lot of the same rainbow brain traits. And epidemiologically, you might end up with a qualification that you wouldn't have had when you were younger, whether you were born with it or not.